I tell myself the right stories, I can actually make myself believe that I'm bigger, stronger, faster, smarter, more charismatic than I actually am. And then in some cases, I can actually become that person I'm pretending to be. But I could also tell myself I could beat Mike Tyson in 1989, and I couldn't. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
There's a lot of people thought that, and they got their ass knocked out. Like, you can tell yourself whatever story, and then eventually physical reality comes into play.
I actually want to tackle, mindset a little bit, right? Like, I think a lot of people think you don't believe mindset's important at all. You don't really, but from knowing you, you talk about present moment awareness, gratitude, and stuff like that. So specifically in the niche of men getting better with women, but also getting better as men and becoming better networkers, can you talk about the importance of mindset?
Yeah.
And what mindsets hold guys back versus what stories guys tell themselves that make them successful?
Okay, so I believe in visualization. I don't believe in manifestation. That's the difference. And when I say manifestation, I understand that the correct way to do manifestation is to have these thoughts and then apply work to it. That's not how most people do manifestation.
Right.
North American 21st century manifestation is clench your butthole and a fucking Ferrari will pop out of thin air. That is what they taught in The Secret. The thing is, people will say, well, no, that's not what The Secret said. If you meet anyone who believes in The Secret, that's how they act. They don't do anything to change their life. So what we teach is action.
Or they were born rich and handsome.
So what we teach is mindset, which leads to action, which can also be visualization, because there's psychological. There are psychological studies that show that visualization can be helpful. So I've said this before, and Kylie thinks I'm nuts for this, but I rehearse what I'm going to say on podcasts in the shower, and she thinks I'm talking to myself, which technically I am. But it's like, after listening to Michael Irvin, he would talk about seeing himself beat the guy off the line of scrimmage, and then he would beat the guy back to the sideline where he knew Troy Aikman was going to throw him the ball. He would visualize the success that he would have, and that's always what I've done before. Visualization is great. Now, when it comes to the thing you were asking me before, whenever I have, let's say, what are the main tropes we get in the program? I'm too short, or I'm too old, or I'm too fat, or I just got
ethnicity,
or my ethnicity, or whatever. So
and just attractiveness.
So let's just say I'm an Asian guy. I'm under 6 feet tall. What we'll do in the program is we'll show them several other Asian people that are under 6 feet tall that are dating like blonde hair, blue-eyed white women. And the question I always ask them is like, what is the story he's not telling himself that you're telling yourself? If you've ever met like a guy who's really good at sales or a guy who's really good at women, but they're better than they should be. They're punching way above their weight class. Why is it? They tell themselves these stories that almost give them delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm telling you what does that mean? That means if I tell myself the right stories, you can guys look up the placebo effect. If I tell myself the right stories, I can actually make myself believe that I'm bigger, stronger, faster, smarter, more charismatic than I actually am. And then in some cases, I can actually become that person I'm pretending to be. But I could also tell myself I could beat Mike Tyson in 1989, and I couldn't. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
There's a lot of people thought that, and they got their ass knocked out. Like, you can tell yourself whatever story, and then eventually physical reality comes into play. But when it comes to things like sales or dating, being charismatic, pitching things like Oren Klaff in his book, Pitch Anything, if you tell yourself the right stories, or rather don't tell yourself the wrong stories, the things that you can accomplish are amazing. They are absolutely mind-bending. But what I just said has nothing to do with woo-woo Joe Dispenza bullshit. What I just said has to do with actual psychological studies that show this, a placebo effect. If I'm around a bunch of successful people, I am more likely to become successful. And if I'm in a group of, like, let's say I'm in a couple and there's a group of like 5 other couples I hang out with, when one of those couples get divorced, it's more likely that I'm going to get divorced. We are subject to the stimulus in our environment. And so what you can do is by telling yourself those stories, you change the stimulus that you receive on a regular basis. And if I keep telling myself I'm a badass, then I might start to believe it. Now, that's different from those aspirational quotes. What are those things where they you look in the mirror and you say, I'm good, people like me.
Affirmations.
Affirmations. The affirmations, the thing is, there are studies that show the affirmations work, but they're very, very temporary. They're very temporary. So I think it's actually not as important the story that you continue to beat into your own head. I think what's more important is the story you stop telling yourself. You need to stop telling yourself the story that I'm going to post this and people give a shit. All of you who are watching this right now, no one gives a shit about you. I'm just sorry. You have You have 400 followers on Instagram, and you're sitting there bitching to me about some post that you're supposed to put up. No one gives a 400. That doesn't mean 400.
Bro, that's my biggest.
That doesn't actually mean 400 people are following you. That means like at most 40 or maybe 80 people.
If you're lucky, it's 80
if you're lucky, give a fuck about what you're doing. And it's just like, it's so crazy to me how hard people just stress over this nonsense when no one. Now, I don't recommend doing this, but I know Tim Ferriss does this where like people lay down in the street to like show that, to get over their anxiety. And then you see pickup artists, they'll like bark at women. Okay, maybe do this once. Start barking just to see that nobody actually cares. Don't keep doing it over and over again because it causes you to become uncalibrated. But it's just like when you come to the realization that like no one cares about what's going on with you. That's good and bad. If you're a man, no one woke up this morning being like, man, I hope Tristan gets to fuck a hot girl today. No one woke up this morning like, man, I hope Tristan makes $1 million today. No one did that. No one except maybe your mom and your best friend give a fuck at all. But these people, they're so sure that I'm going to post this and everyone at work is going to judge me and my family's going to judge me. And they have their own fucking problems and insecurities. In fact, they're not willing to post. They're more insecure than you are. And when you come to that realization, you're like, man, I just don't understand. Like, I need to do things the right way in order for me to get ahead. And I'm like, did O.J. Simpson do things the right way? How about that? Did fucking Caitlyn Jenner do things the right way? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, look at the upcoming election. Did Biden or Trump do anything the right way?
No. Again, these people didn't do things the right way. When you consider a man as president of the United States, after all the things that he's done, even if you love him or hate him, consider some of the crazy, we are considering electing a man to be president. And by the way, I do think he's better than Biden. Just let me put that out right now. We're considering electing a man who tried to impress a reporter by showing her top secret documents so he could try to fuck. Am I wrong? Tell me what part of that is not true. Yeah. Right? That did happen. We are about to elect a man to become president who had his attorney pay off a prostitute to keep her mouth shut with fucking campaign funds. Did that happen or not? Tell me what part of that isn't true. Listen, I like Donald Trump. He's cool. But my point is, that did happen. And I'm not trying to tell you that to criticize Trump. I'm trying to tell you that to criticize you. If he did that and got away with it, what the fuck are you worried about? Why are you worried about the things that you post? It is so worthless. And for some reason, I don't know why this is, but it tends to be my Indian and German clients the most.
Yeah.
Especially the German clients. They come from this structured household. It's like, you talk too much. Slap your hand. Be quiet. Sit in the corner. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking. Stop expressing yourself. And then they get older and you're like, hey man, post a funny meme. And like, I don't want to. I'm afraid of what people will say to me. And then the first woman or the first their fat aunt or whoever who says something to them are like, I can't believe you posted that. It's not like you to post something like that. The first one who does it, they fucking collapse. Right. They're like, Michael, I got to stop posting this. Women are complaining. And I'm like, but they still have sex with you, right? It's like, yeah, but they're complaining. I'm like, then stop fucking listening to them. And by the way, the better looking the guy is, the more susceptible he is to the idea that women criticize his social media account. So he stops posting pictures with hot girls. So he stops taking chances. The more attractive a guy is, the harder it is. The richer the guy is, the harder it is. But when you have a dude who just has fucking nothing to lose, he's like a fucking 5'6" Filipino dude, and you tell him to post this crazy shit, he'll do it. He doesn't give a fuck because he has nothing to lose. And he gets more improvement than anyone else.
I mean, when you're at rock bottom, you can only go up, right?
Because he has no stupid stories to tell himself. And that's the reason why he fucking crushes it. There was one saying, if you ever met a firearms instructor, the easiest people to teach are like those soccer moms who've never shot a gun before, because you can teach them correct technique. The hardest people to teach are guys who think they know how to shoot guns and have no idea what they're doing. Same thing when teaching a guy to shoot free throws. Like, a lot of times it's better, these guys who are hit rock bottom, they don't even know what success tastes like. So when you teach them the right way, they just do it the right way. They don't mix in all their other bullshit. The worst kind of client, not worst kind of clients, but the clients I have that's so much problem with is when I teach them social circle, and then they take everything I said and they just mix in their pickup shit with social circle. It's like social circle plus. It's like, I'm using Michael's social circle techniques to get me around hotter girls so I can be creepier around hotter fucking girls instead of listening to exactly what I tell them.